Welcome to Business Innovators Radio, featuring industry influencers and trendsetters sharing proven strategies to help you build a better life right now.
Hello and welcome to this episode of our show. This is your host, Keith Doherty. Today our special guest is top real estate agent Tami Gosselin of Century 21 M&M and Associates based out of Modesto, California. Having been in real estate since 2002, Tami is in the top 1% nationwide, 12-time consecutive Centurion Award winner, Honor Society Award winner, ranked in the top 500 for real estate marketers in the U.S. in 2014, in 2015 USAA Certified, Cendant Relocation Certified, Certified Distressed Property Expert, RES.net Certified, and Equator Platinum Certified. She's also at 2 consecutive years as the number 1 agent, 2009 and 10, and then the number 3 agent in 2012 in the U.S. for American Home Shield Home Warranty Protection. Tami is ranked in the top 1,000 for homes sold in 2013 and 14 in the U.S. And Tami is determined to help her clients by being a resource of information. She knows that relocating your family from as far as another country or as near as across the street has potential to be either the best decision you've made in years or a stressful one. Her focus is in the experience because she understands the complexities of buying and selling homes. She wants her clients to have the kind of experience that breeds sustained relationships and clients for life. So with that, Tami, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Keith.
So if we could start, what led you into real estate? Was it something that you knew you always wanted to do, or did you maybe stumble into it?
No, it actually was back when I was only 21 years old. My husband was selling his first property that he had ever purchased, and the real estate agent there said, you know, you'd make a great real estate agent. And that always stuck with me. So when I became pregnant with my first child, my husband said, why don't you get your real estate license? So I did, and here I am.
Yeah, so it's kind of one of those things that, and we've interviewed quite a few people on the show, and it seems like a lot of people with real estate, it just kind of one of those things in life that just kind of popped up and happened for them.
Mm-hmm.
So what personal attributes or traits or qualities do you think have most contributed to your success, and how do you think you developed those?
Well, I think personality and being a people person is huge in this industry. And also I've learned over the years through coaching is becoming a chameleon and mirror and matching the person you're working with. So if they talk fast, I talk fast. If they talk slow, I talk slow. You want to make whoever you're working with feel very comfortable when you're around them. And then also my personal attributes is that I'm an extremely self-disciplined and organized person, and I'm committed to executing my daily activities necessary to continue growing my business at a high level. I also have a bubbly personality, enjoy making people's dreams become a reality. And I got my real estate license when I was 24 years old. I knew nothing about real estate when I joined. And so I joined a coaching company 45 days after I got my license. And all I simply have done is done exactly what they told me to do, and I sold 40 homes my first year.
Wow, that's pretty cool. I guess that's some good coaching if you just listen and then you go around and sell 40 homes.
Absolutely. I didn't know anything else, so I just did what they told me to do.
Yeah, I think sometimes that might be the best for some people where they come in with kind of a misconception or kind of their way of doing things versus like, hey, I'm new, somebody show me the way, oh, here's the way, okay, just go and charge forward and have success, so that's great.
Absolutely.
So do you think maybe you can give us, you kind of mentioned the one there where you took the coaching and you kind of went out and you sold the 40 homes, but maybe can you give us another example of when your traits have played a role in your path towards success?
I think it's just being consistent and, setting goals. Like every year I put together a business plan and I set a yearly goal, I set a daily goal, I set a weekly goal, I set a monthly goal, and I set a quarterly goal. And I review those goals daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, depending on, what I'm working on, whether it's my listing goal or my buyers under contract goal, my closing goal. And I post it on my wall in front of me next to my computer, of my goals. And also, I strive to, whether it's a vacation or it's a helping someone out, I look at those goals every day and I have it posted on my wall. And I think in my daily business, I'm rewarded every day with new clients, referrals from past clients, and agents across the nation because I'm constantly keeping in contact with everyone. I also am asked, frequently to speak as a mentor at many events throughout the year, and I find that extremely rewarding, giving back. I love to give back. I love helping agents, whether they're a new agent or a seasoned agent, just how to take their business to the next level.
Yeah, I think one of the things you pointed out that's key to point out to our listeners is that you talked about not only having goals, which I think everybody should definitely, and break them down the way you talked about, have like maybe a 5-year or 1 year, and then monthly down to weekly and daily, so you know what to focus on. But I think the other thing you pointed out that's important to focus on is that not only do you write them out and have them, but you have them there so that you can see them. So you can, here's my goals for the day or for the week, so you can look up and, okay, am I on track? What do I need to do? Am I doing everything to stay on track in order to achieve that? So I think just, having them written down, some people might, out of sight, out of mind, but having them, that visual, to be able to see them and basically recommit to them almost on a daily basis, I think that probably helps drive you and to keep moving you towards the success that you've had.
Absolutely, and I think, let's just say my goal that day is to reach out to 20 people, and I hit that goal by noon. That doesn't mean that I'm done for the day. That just means that I can work harder, to get ahead of my numbers for the week. Most people think, okay, I hit my goal for the day, I can go home. No. I don't go home. I keep plugging forward. Now, let's just say it's 5 o'clock and I haven't hit my number. That doesn't mean I get to go home either. I'll stay here till 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night until I hit that goal. I do not leave my office until I've hit my goal every day.
Yeah, wow, that definitely shows, and obviously that's paid off for the success that you've had in your career. So obviously you've experienced success. You've just in your opening bio, we talked about all the success you've had, but it probably hasn't always been just roses and an easy walk of to achieve that. So maybe you could talk about what are some of the major adversities and trials that you've had to overcome to achieve your goals.
There's a huge amount of sacrifice in this industry for myself to hit the goals that I hit every year. There's times when I miss, my kids' games, miss different events because I'm a goal-oriented type of person, and if I don't hit my goals, I'm staying here till I hit my goals. So that's it's just a huge sacrifice, in order to hit my goals every single year. So there's things that I have to give up to be able to do those.
Absolutely. And it kind of leads us to our next point here, but what do you think keeps you going? Despite, obstacles come up, and even, like you said, your children's games, that could be considered an obstacle to your goal because you have to make a choice. Do I focus on this or do I move in this direction? So why don't you give up? What keeps you moving forward to continue to push towards that goal?
It's because I have, I want to be able to retire at a young age. I'm 38 years old. I set a goal at 24 that I will retire by the age I'm 45, and that's what I focus on, that I'm going to be able to enjoy my kids at a young age versus working to the age of 65. So that's what keeps me going, is I stay focused on that age of 45, and I have to hit certain goals every single year to be able to achieve that, and that's what keeps me focused.
Yeah, I think that's pretty impressive too. That, like you said, not only do you have the daily, but you have that long term. That's the big picture of what you've broken everything down onto, making those calls each and every day. It's all, the big payoff is, okay, I'm going to shoot for 45 and to be retired, so that you can then just focus on, like you said, your family and things like that. So I think that's great.
Absolutely. And, it's been a lot of work with my coaches. I have 2 real estate coaches. I have a real estate coach with the Mike Ferry organization, as well as I have a coach with the NAEA, which is a marketing coach. And between the both of them, they have put a plan in place to be able to allow me to retire at the age of 45.
Yeah, I think the other thing you pointed out there that's important for our listeners to look at is that, we don't always, everybody can sit down and plan their own goals and make their own paths, but I think it's always great to reach out to other successful individuals, not only from a networking standpoint, but from, you mentioned, a coaching standpoint. So you reached out to people that are professionals in your industry that coach other people, and they helped you formulate a plan, and they help you with your action items. So to be able to tap into that experience of other successful people that can help guide you on your path and probably sometimes give you direction that you may not have thought of, probably helps trying to achieve things like that a little bit easier for you.
Yes, absolutely, because I can't do this on my own. Two heads are better than one.
Excellent. Tami, that kind of leads me to the next point here, in which you've kind of alluded to where this is going. Obviously, you mentioned, retiring at 45 and having maybe roughly 7 years left. So what do you see the vision for your career, say, over the next 5 to 7 years? Where do you see that going?
Well, I've started a new plan, actually. I've been out here in California working in this, area for 14 years, and, I've conquered it out here, and so I'm getting my real estate license out in Florida, and I work for Century 21 here in California, so I know how the Century 21 system works. I love it, and so I'm going to start working for a Century 21 company out in Boca Raton, Florida, and I'm going to implement all the tools that I've implemented out here for success in California out in Boca Raton, Florida. And so I'm super excited about this because that's where my family is going to retire. I've looked at Florida as a retirement place for many years, and so I want to implement that now since I have 7 years left to really build a big business out there and have both my business in Florida as well as California running smoothly by the time that I retire. So my team's just producing, my business, during my retirement years.
So you're kind of looking to build up, you obviously, like you said, you got California all set. You're looking to build Florida up and then kind of oversee those and continue to help the team, maybe with a little oversight and direction, but kind of pull yourself out of the day-to-day operations.
Absolutely. My goal is to, interact, 1 week a month between both businesses. That's my goal when I retire, just to take care of the, the hard stuff if, need be and stuff, the big tasks, because in real estate, you really got to think outside the box, and there's a lot of big obstacles to overcome at times. And with my experience, I've sold over 1,500 homes in my career of 14 years, and I've seen, a lot over those years. And because of my experience, I don't feel there's any obstacle too big. I feel like there's a solution for everything.
Absolutely. And to kind of have this growth and as you build things out, what do you feel is the best way you market yourself as a real estate professional so you can have continual growth?
It's staying in touch with my past clients, friends, and family. Every single year, I handwrite and personally sign Christmas cards with a calendar that goes out to my entire database. And the key to a successful Christmas card is I mail it the day after Thanksgiving. So I'm the first Christmas card that everyone gets in my database. So as they move my Christmas card around their house, my face is in front of them, my name's in front of them. And then also sending out monthly postcards to my entire database, quarterly mailings. And when I say quarterly, means giving them something of value, whether it be a pen, a chip clip, a keychain, a notepad, just giving them something of value to remind them of me every quarter. And then also talking to them, I have my A clients and I have my B clients. And talking to my A clients, whether it's monthly or quarterly, and then my B clients, bi-yearly. And so with staying in touch, being in front of my entire database all the time, that's allowed me to continually grow my business.
Yeah, I think what you pointed out there is great is about, the front of mind thing, and that's kind of what you're doing. They may have purchased from you, whether you were a buyer or happened to be, help them, find the house or put them in, but you've done business with them, so they may forget that because it could be years down the road. But if you're always reminding them of that relationship, obviously if it was a good one, they'll continue to think about you. So then when they do come to that point, or when somebody says to them, "Hey Joe, we're thinking about selling our house," like, "Oh, you got to call Tami," right? Because they're just, that's going to be the natural thing, because people like to have the answer, especially when a friend asks, "Hey, where should we eat, or who should we use?" "Oh, you got to use Tami. Tami's awesome," right? So I think that's great, that front of mind that you always stay in. And like you said, you give them something of value. You're not just putting stuff in front of them that's, with the calendar, the pen, something they're going to use, so they're going to be writing and thinking, "Oh yeah, Tami gave me this." Just a little subtle thing to stay front of mind.
Absolutely.
Excellent. So that kind of moves me to another question. I think that there's sometimes some misconception or myths about real estate agents, and I think some people just assume that, okay, it's time to sell my house. I'm gonna put a sign up. I'm going to let my friends and family know, and I'm going to just sell my house on my own. It can't be that hard. It seems pretty, straightforward. But on the flip side of that, what do you think that biggest misconception or myth is that people have about working with a real estate agent?
Well, I think most people feel that real estate agents are overpaid and underworked because they do think that it's just putting a sign in the yard, sign a few documents, and, putting your house on the internet and, bam, it's sold. Oh my goodness, it's so much more than that. There's so much that goes into even the preparation of putting a home on the market, or, all the time out showing a buyer a property and making multiple offers. So a lot of people think that getting a real estate license, the money's just going to flow in, the clients are just going to magically come in, their phones are just going to start ringing. And no, not at all. There's a lot of training that comes involved from getting your license. There's definitely a ton of business out there, but you got to work for it. The second I take a listing, my seller knows my listing plan of action. So on every appointment that I go on, whether it's a buyer or a listing, I have a plan of action in place. So my clients always know where we're at throughout the entire process. And so I've never been told that I'm overpaid and underworked, because I always bring value to the table on every transaction. And so all you listeners out there, if you want to get your real estate license, great. It's a wonderful business to be in, but there's a lot of hard work. There's a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff that, goes into every transaction, many, many hours of hard work and thinking outside the box to put together multiple transactions. I've had a transaction where it's five different transactions to close at that last property. So the first transaction to the last, it's a domino effect, and just trying to juggle all of that is huge. Making sure we're all on our time frames and everything. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, like you said, there's a lot more involved, and I don't think people know. And I think the key thing you said there too is value. It's not necessarily that agents are overpaid. You're providing a value, and you're showing that you're of value because of the service you provide. That it isn't just, oh, hey, I'm going to put a sign in your yard and go list it in the MLS, and then I'll see you at closing when somebody happens to buy your house. Right? There's a lot more involved in that, and I think you're able to show that value to your clients, so that they say, okay, yeah, she's worth every penny, because it was seamless, it was smooth, it was a great transaction, and even if something did raise its head up, like you said, with all your experience, you knew how to handle it, and you guided them through it, and that was extremely valuable for them, because you took that stress load off of them dealing with all the issues that could potentially come up.
Mm-hmm, for sure.
So this is kind of a hypothetical. Let's say you get a call from a family member in another state. Let's say they want to sell their home. Let's say they're in New York. They're going into spring here in April. All of a sudden snows, and they're like, "That's it. We've had it. Let's call Tami. We're coming to California, Tami." What advice would you give them? Now, obviously, we know you could offer a referral, and you could potentially look up agents. But let's say you're just to counsel them. What advice would you give them to help them select an agent, kind of like somebody that treats their clients like you do? What would you tell them to look for? What would you tell them to kind of, what questions should they ask, and so that they could basically best serve their needs, kind of like you take care of your clients?
Well, I have a listing plan of action that I have in place for every listing that I take. And my advice to them would be definitely to interview 3 agents and see what they're going to do for you. On every listing that I take, I meet with my clients multiple times before we actually put the house on the market. I stage all my properties personally. You can hire a staging company, but I go through the property and I stage it, I declutter it. I want it to be perfect when I have my professional photographer come out and take all my photos. So I really want to take down family photos. You want to clean the carpets. You just want to make it move in condition, more or less, when you're putting that house on the market. So that would be my advice to my friend or family member that's reaching out to me on who they're going to pick as an agent that is going to hold their hand and show them what they need to do to first get it ready to put it on the market, and then the steps that they're going to take during the selling of the property. I want to make sure they're going to hire a professional photographer to take their photos. If that area is big on open houses, hold a broker open. I would give them all the advice of what it takes to get a property sold out here, and I would check to see what agents do out in the area. I would just Google their address, go to Zillow, check out some of the properties in that area to see what agents are doing. And then, I would help them. I would definitely give them a lending hand on interviewing the agents for them as well.
Excellent. And if somebody, obviously right now you're in the California area, depending on when somebody's listening, obviously if they're listening to this after the summer of 2016, you might be able to represent them in the West Palm Beach area. But if somebody wants to learn more about you, what's the best way that they can get more information on you?
You can definitely Google me. I have my personal website as well, which is TamiGosselin.com. That has my personal bio on there. Also, Zillow.com has another web page about me, and it goes over my current listings, some of my past sales. I have a video out there with American Home Shield that states that I will provide a home warranty on every one of my transactions, whether the seller pays for it or not. I'm a big advocate for home warranties. So in the first year, it gives the buyer a peace of mind. So let's just say you move in today, in 30 days your heater or air conditioner goes out, you call the home warranty company, you pay a service fee of $60 to $70, they come out and repair or replace it, for instance. So that's the best way to find out about me if you don't know me personally, if you just wanted to, see what I'm about on the web.
Absolutely, and we'll put obviously links below this interview. So we'll have links we'll get Tami's site, as she mentioned, TamiGosselin.com, and any other contact information that she has as well. We'll put it below this interview. So you'll be able to click on that or be able to contact her however you need to. So definitely, if you're looking for, I believe what areas of California specifically?
I'm in the Central Valley. I'm in Modesto, California, which is south of Sacramento, north of Fresno. I service, my big three counties that I service is Merced County, Stanislaus County, and San Joaquin County.
All right, excellent. So if you happen to be in that area, definitely reach out to Tami, as well as, like we mentioned, she'll be taking over West Palm Beach very soon, at least the Boca area, come the summer of 2016. So with that said, I just want to thank you, Tami, for taking time out of your schedule and coming here today to share your business experience and all your knowledge with our listeners. And like we said, once again, if you want to learn more about Tami, you'll be able to click any of the links or get her contact information below. So with that said, everybody, until our next show, have a great day, and we'll talk to you guys all soon.
Thanks, Keith.
Thanks for listening to Business Innovators Radio. To hear all episodes featuring leading industry influencers and trendsetters, visit us online at businessinnovatorsradio.com today.